Hello everyone, and welcome to Let's Play Tyranny. After what happened in the last episode of the Pathfinder Kingmaker, I need a little more time to kind of process that. It was a rather abrupt ending. I did not anticipate what had happened. There we go. Okay. So, new game. Oh. Huh, nice. Yeah, no, I mean, you've all seen me. I save scum the hell out of it. Okay. So it's been a pretty long while. Let's see. You've got Tunon, Kairos. Oh lord, the leader. Graven Ash was the leader of one of the factions. Siren is in the bottom left there. Not sure who that is. Here we go.
For over 400 years, the armies of Kairos the Overlord have swept across the known world. All who stood against them fell before their might. Even the Archons, women and men of immense power, were forced to kneel, chained to the Overlord's will. Now Kairos' final conquest has come to our corner of the world, and two of the Overlord's armies compete for the honor of taking our lands. The elite disfavored, and the teeming horde of the Scarlet Chorus.
Okay, Graven Ashes with the
voices of
disfavored.
Nerat, spy master and archon of secrets, guides the fierce and undisciplined masses of the Scarlet Chorus.
Huh.
With each battle,
Yeah, not even...
the Scarlet Chorus grows stronger, as the defeated are given a simple choice: serve or die.
I just noticed that he's got
Graven
his
Ash,
eye looking back
Archon
here.
of War and the Overlord's most loyal general, leads the disfavored. Though small in number, Kairos' ironclad legion has never met true defeat in open battle. Watching over the two generals is Tunon, the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice, eldest of Kairos' minions. Tunon brings Kairos' laws to newly conquered lands, aided by the Fatebinders, judges and executioners of the Overlord's laws. You were among the youngest of the court of Fatebinders when Kairos' armies came to our lands. How could we have known that the fate of thousands would rest in your hands?
I forgot just how elaborate that opening was. There we are. Let's see. Yeah, I'm kind of a pasty guy. I guess that. I've kind of got a bit of a baby face going on. Yeah, no. I think I'll go with the messy one because I tend to have very bad hair days.
That wasn't so hard.
On the lookout.
My wounds are slowing me down. I need rest. I got it.
Heads up, we have company. Flawless.
You learn something every day. This'll be fun.
On the lookout. My wounds are slowing me down. Found something. Trouble is afoot.
I guess noble then.
You learn something every day.
Good lord. Let's see. I kind of like the tree. And actually, that color scheme works well with it. But let's see. Okay. Here's where the last of the males are. I kind of like that one, actually. So let's see. Facial hair. A little too much. Because I do want to be a spearman. Maybe that one, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe that one in the absence of anything better. Yeah, I kind of like that one. That'll work.
This will be fun. Ah, got it.
Okay, so how did I join the army? Let's see, no. Last in a noble line. Guild apprentice. Deeply proud of your intelligence. You're Hunter, nah. Honestly, diplomat. A careless word in a far-flung city landed you in legal trouble, and you were taken before Tunon the Adjudicator and made to stand trial. Not only did you plead your innocence, but you turned the accusations around on the accuser for wasting the court's time, and the Archon of Justice concurred. Amused by your wit, wisdom, and adaptability, Tunon claimed you as his newest enforcer. Yeah, I kind of like that one. Let's see. Okay. I am gonna have to look up real quick. Let's see. Or to impress others with your intelligence. Let's see. Leave the target bleeding. Yeah, I think that one. I think atrophy spells because, well. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll debuffer. I kind of like that idea. I like the contrast with that. Yeah, I think that'll work better. Let's see here. Kind of like that in terms of, like, a hopeful one. Unless there's an animal motif in here somewhere, but doesn't look like it, so... Yeah, I think I might want to... Spear and shield. Are you kidding me? Okay, so spear and shield it is. Let's see, shield slam or sunder. I'm thinking that because it's, again, the debuffing. Oh, attributes, here we are. Oh. Yeah, sure. There we go. And conquest.
All the world has fallen to Kairos, and now the Overlord's eye is on the Tears, our home. The last corner of the world free of Kairos' reign. Two armies, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, march south from the Northern Empire, the last realm to fall to Kairos a century prior. In the early days of 428, Kairos' armies arrive at the Gates of Judgment, the mountainous border that we Tearsmen so long believed unassailable. Unable to agree on a unified plan of defense, the various leaders of the Tears sit and wait for each other to deal with the conquerors.
Divided we
Until
fall.
it's too late.
And I like how they represent the disorderliness of the Scarlet Chorus here versus the rigid discipline of the Disfavored here. Though it does seem like the numbers maybe should have been swapped. During the conquest, you will decide your character's actions during Kairos' invasion of the Tiers, shaping the world through which you will adventure over the course of the game. Each choice you make affects your character and how major factions of the Tiers respond to you. The Bastard City stood on the northern border between Kairos' empire and the Tiers. Built upon a natural harbor at the crossroads between realms, the city was a nexus of commerce. To the Tiers, it was the center of all wealth. To a northerner, it was little more than a backwater trading post. Its symbolic status as a gateway to the continent made it a natural first target in Kairos' military conquest. Circumstances were ideal for you to prove your worth as a soldier in Kairos' army. Taking the city would send a message to the rest of the Tiers. Kairos' will is insurmountable. Gates of Judgment. Let's see. Armies of Kairos took the battle to the Gates of Judgment. Or infiltrate the Tiers. Yeah. Capture a border garrison. Target the troops. The Oathbound scouts identified a modest border defense and collaborated on an organized attack that would leave the enemy uncoordinated and cut off from aid. You oversaw the preparations and offered your opinions on the strategy. When the clashing of swords and spears fell to silence, followed by the cheering of disfavored scouts, you were the least surprised. Inside agent or containing the fire? With the border garrison captured by your disfavored allies, you traveled ahead of Kairos' armies and lurked in the shadows of the Bastard City. You decided that converting one of the locals to Kairos' side would help bring the city to its knees. Yeah, there we go. You came to an arrangement with a well-connected smuggler who knew how to sneak agents of the Scarlet Chorus behind city walls. The Scarlet Chorus were better operatives than soldiers, and this work required a subtle touch. After accepting his deserved payment, the smuggler uncovered a long-forgotten tunnel that intersected with the sewers of the Bastard City. Armed with maps of the subterranean layout, your Scarlet Chorus allies fanned out to occupy various city districts under cover. They spent the ensuing weeks murdering key officials and sabotaging defenses wherever possible, weakening the Tiers capital under the very noses of its leaders. Your tactics of infiltration placed you in the Bastard City ahead of the main armies. Your work softened the city defenses for the arrival of Kairos' forces, but you wanted a decisive gesture that would give your allies a meaningful advantage. How did you assist in the fall? Let's see. Challenge the commander of the Bastard City's defenses to an honorable fight to the death. The disfavored wished to spare soldier lives for the battles ahead and civilian lives for occupation. Yeah, I think that'll work pretty well. The city marshal was an old but experienced fighter, and his value to the guard was an accepted truth. After making guarantees for your protection, you met him in the square of the market district and fought in the view of tense onlookers. The battle drew on longer than you thought possible. Good fortune struck when an ornamental chain hanging from the marshal's armor snagged the quillon of his sword, granting you the opportunity to end his life swiftly. bastard cities settled into a new state of normalcy. Okay, so either Apex. Or Lethan's Crossing. I'll go with Apex, I think. I don't know. Deposits. Okay, deposits of iron is a. Yeah, I'll go with the strategic war asset. 429 TR. Years ago, Lethian the Bold founded a small merchant town at the intersection of ancient old walls. A pact between the settlers and a mercenary company meant that caravans were able to travel without fear of bandits or bane, and the town thrived in modest insignificance. Lethian's Crossing drew Kairos' attention for the iron deposits in the surrounding hills. With the region under Kairos' control, the northern smith mages could set up workshops to refine ore and arm the disfavored with the finest weapons in the known world. The Archon of Secrets dismantled the mercenary support with a generous bribe, taking the crossing in a bloodless victory. The iron must flow, or the Cult of Siren. Yeah, I'll go with that one, why not? Let's see. Yeah, I think I'll go with that one. The Scarlet Chorus agreed to transfer Siren's latest recruits to the front lines of the Apex campaign. Your resolution fit their traditional model of conscription, so they considered it a fair alternative. In the weeks to come, more of them returned to active duty than even Siren herself expected, likely owing to their obsessive devotion to the Archon and her enchanting music. A Red Anvil, or Ancient Threats. Yeah, I'll go with this one. Both of Kairos' army reserved their strength for the front lines of the war, and yet the city required protection. Yeah, I'd go with that. Though the disfavored were averse to your ruling, they couldn't argue with the reasoning behind it. They rallied in the streets of Lethian's Crossing, patrolling on alert in shifts that lasted day and night in an impressive show of force. They managed to repel several attacks from the predators in districts that would have otherwise suffered great harm. Able to do some good, the disfavored still detested you for keeping them from the battle with their real enemy in the tiers. Yeah. I figured the disfavored because they are using the most armor. Placed a modest garrison in the settlement of Lethian's Crossing. Though the force was larger than might be needed to police the small settlement, protecting the forge-bound ironsmiths became the true agenda of the defense force. Alright, so, Vellum Citadel. I'm thinking maybe this one for the knowledge? I don't know. Was an archive and library of massive scale. Its inhabitants were known as the School of Ink and Quill, a circle of mages that centuries ago carved out their own mountainous refuge on lands unsettled by other major realms. Song of Ensnarement. Chain of Command. Marched on the Vellum Citadel, expecting an orderly surrender. Oh boy. Yeah, I think this one, because saving lives. The disfavored were quick to follow your command and formed an unbreakable phalanx that gave the unarmored Scarlet Chorus Horde a chance to escape. Only once they returned to camp did the singed and maimed disfavored take issue with their orders. As far as they were concerned, the Scarlet Chorus should have taken care of themselves. If they weren't equal to the challenge of defending their brethren, then they had no place in this conquest. Plunder of parchment, or lost to the mountains. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm with the disfavored on this one. Though the Scarlet Chorus were bitter at having their time wasted in search of lost soldiers, grandstanding before their rivals in the disfavored was an opportunity too delicious to ignore. Tracking the lead. After launching a successful counterattack, the Chorus escorted the shaken and humiliated disfavored scouts back to camp. Food and morale dwindled as the siege party realized the enemy would win this war of attrition. Tunon sent word that Kairos' patience had run thin. The Overlord would cast an edict of fire on the enemy. The parchment arrived in a slender case of engraved iron. Written on it, the words of a spell powerful enough to destroy the Vellum Citadel. You had the choice of when to read the edict. Reading it at sunrise would offer your enemies no warning of the devastation to come. Yeah, this one. Giving the chorus spies and the enemy a chance to run. You confronted the mages with a warning and hoped the message was received. The hour before sunset, numerous figures were spotted fleeing the citadel. As the sun dipped under the horizon, you read the words of the edict. The earth shook, and red-orange light glowed in the foundation of the sprawling citadel. Bubbling up from under the library, a torrent of lava heaved with explosive force, gushing from windows and between loose bricks, melting winding trenches. And actually, I'm gonna go back and redo the last one because... Eesh. Hopefully I can pick which one I redo. Oh, crap. It's gonna replay the entire freaking thing, isn't it? I apologize, folks. I only wanted to redo the last one. So I'll be doing largely the same thing here. Alright, captured a garrison. inside agent. You know what? Sure. Some deaths were quiet and unnoticed, while others were gruesome beyond words. As a wave of murder overtook the city's elite, your deeds swelled in infamy. I'm curious if I can just go back to that previous one. I'll go with Apex because, well, no. Yeah, Lethian's Crossing. I kind of liked how that one went. Cult of Siren, sided with the chorus. Let's see. Alright, and the final one, Stalwart. Here we go. The realm of Stalwart was best known for his proud army, disciplined, courageous, and undefeated on their home soil. Skill and resolve made Stalwart a military power that Kairos' forces approached with due caution. With the southern position, Stalwart had been largely safe from the war, watching for 2 years as its neighbors fell to Kairos' forces. Eesh. Contentious setback. Stalwart defenders burned their crops as they retreated. Yeah, I don't have the proof, so... Raven Ash was the first to step forward to dispute your ruling. He argued that the Scarlet Chorus were a directionless menace, sowing chaos and disorder wherever they went. When you politely reminded him that his opinions were admissible, he stormed out of camp with a unit of soldiers. Ish. Negative conscription. Fall of the Regents. Yeah, I'll go with that. In a move that towed the edges of Kairos' law, disfavored soldiers tracked down and executed the Scarlet Chorus operatives and Stalwart under your orders. The disfavored carved a slow, steady path into the heart of Stalwart and surrounded the enemy's massive fortress. With the main bulk of their forces defeated, the enemy leadership retreated to their mighty fortress, content to wait out the war. An Edict of Storms, a devastating spell that would endure for as long as the cowardly hearts of Stalwart's leaders persisted in beating. an attempt to ingratiate themselves with the people of Stalwart, the Scarlet Chorus insisted that warning be sent to the towns and villages so that the people may prepare for the horde about to descend. Intended for the cowardly regents of Stalwart, not those unfortunates swept up in the calamity of their leadership. A warning in advance of the spell would give locals time to prepare for the devastation to come. You were content to let punishment fall on the innocent as lightly as Kairos' will allows. Comforted that you might yet spare lives, you The clear skies darkened as you read the final words of the edict. A flurry of wind and rain whipped through the rolling plains and craggy canyons, turning rocks, uprooted trees, and hapless soldiers into hazardous shrapnel. Armed with a measure of foresight, you were able to remove yourself from the area before the storms grew more violent. Over time, nearby communities told of cyclones consisting of thousands of soldiers' worth of limbs, spears, armors, and skulls. What's more, the weather showed no sign of dissipating. Oof. The Blade Grave. Okay, I kind of like how that one went. Although I am rethinking the first one a bit. I think that'll be fine. Okay, and I